Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of Pixel Perfect Gaming. I am Chris.
And I am Pat. I said that a little weird, didn't I?
A little strange, but that's okay. That's okay. But welcome back to another episode 16. We've been doing this for 3 months, almost 4, maybe 4 months. Has it been 4 months?
I mean, wow. 4 weeks in a month. You know,
yeah, I guess you're technically right on 16. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. Hard to believe. I mean, I thought maybe we were going to do it for a month and be like, you know what, we're terrible at this. We're not going to do this anymore. But here we are, still doing it. So.
Oh, don't worry. I think that it's cool.
Oh.
Way to just shit on us.
And just like that.
No, I take it back.
Defeated before we even get started.
Yeah. And then that's
Good grief. All right. So since last week's episode, Patrick and I have been having conversations about structuring the podcast a little bit more, adding a little bit more structure into how we approach it, basically so that the listeners have, like, you have an idea of what we're going to be covering. Not the exact topics, but at least an idea of how the podcast plays out every week. So we've had some cover. Yeah. I mean, there's still going to be off-topic shit. We're not going to stop that. Like, that's just us, I think, as people.
Who we are.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to step away from that. But at least you'll have an idea of, like, when certain things will be coming up, and hopefully you enjoy what we're doing. We are looking for feedback on these. So the segments that we've kind of broken out right now, we will have an optional one at the beginning of each podcast with a life update or cat update if necessary for that episode, depending, because there's not always going to be something on either side for those kind of things. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about what we are playing, and we decided to kind of keep doing that, talking about either what we're playing or what we're interested in playing or watching currently, and we're going to call that segment Loading Screen, which I think is an appropriate name for it. And then we go into gaming and tech news after that, which is pretty standard. We've been doing that pretty much the whole time. It's kind of the thing we do. And then we would be wrapping up each episode with a segment. Well, presuming we have, this might be an optional one depending on how it goes, but we'd like to wrap up each episode with a segment that we are going to call Are You Fucking Kidding Me? Which is, I love the name of it. And I love how organically we came up with the name.
Yeah. Also, that'll probably always be in the episode. I always got something to bitch about, man. You know me.
Yeah, and that can tells you what that section's going to be about is, when something either happens in gaming or in the gaming world, it's just ranting and bitching and moaning about it. So it'll be good. We've already got a good topic for this week. As soon as we hopped in, Pat had something in mind that I don't think he even planned to put into that, but I was like, that sounds like a good "Are you fucking kidding me" topic. So
I don't want to think about it.
You're going to say I don't want to talk about it. What you're about to say?
I don't want to talk about it. All right, I can't give a preview, or else I'm just going to start. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to have to back off on that one. So those are the segments that we're thinking about introducing, and we're going to go through this episode following that kind of that structure. So give us some feedback on Twitter or in the Discord. Let us know what you think about the segments and as it evolves, and if there's anything different that you'd prefer us be doing. So with that in mind, we're going to kind of move right along to the loading screen section, because there are no life or cat updates, at least not to my knowledge. We didn't actually talk about any of that shit before we got started here, so I assume there's nothing there.
Nope. I love my cats, but that's, same old there.
I do like the photo that you posted in the Discord of the cat standing on top of, like, a dresser or something like that. Or is that a closet?
That's our dresser that's right next to our bed, and we woke up in the morning and looked up, and they were both just perched on top of the edge of the dresser looking down at us. So
that was a good photo. So for those of you that aren't on our Discord, we have a section in the Discord called Post Your Cat. It's a new section. So those of us that are cat owners we're posting our cats. If you have dogs, you can post them in there, but I'm probably going to delete it.
I won't delete it. I like dogs too.
I'm indifferent. Actually, no, that's not true. I just don't like them. I just don't like them. So, but in the loading screen section, Patrick, I don't think you had anything because all you've been really looking at and playing is RuneScape. But I was going to ask, have you got Devil May Cry yet?
Nope.
You still haven't gotten it?
I haven't.
What happened? You were so excited to for
I
it to come
was,
out and
but
play
then
it. So
like
what happened?
not buying it right away made my hype kind of die down for it. Not that I still don't want to play it or anything like that, but now I'm at the point where I'm content with waiting for it to like go on sale.
Got you. So you've waited long enough at this point. You're like, I'm just going to get it at GameStop for $29 instead of 60.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can understand that. I mean, you've already seen some of the videos. You've probably spoiled all the game for yourself anyway, so you know what to expect.
Obviously.
Yeah, you've already seen a full playthrough and like 2 speed runs of it.
Look, man, I don't mind spoilers.
I know you don't, and that's fine. That's fine. So I was just curious if you'd gotten that or not, but
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. In all
I know
honesty, I might get Borderlands 3 before before I get Devil May Cry. Like if things line up and Borderlands 3 doesn't even come out until the fall.
September. Yeah, that's funny. Are there any games this month that you're looking at getting?
No.
Yeah,
No, I'm pretty
same.
much just I have some clear goals in RuneScape that I want to hit, and it's a very grindy game, so it's just kind of where I'm putting all my gaming time at the moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, so nothing for this month. Yeah, same for me. No game purchases this month. I do know the final season series finale, I guess, for Walking Dead came out, but I haven't played some of the other ones, so it's kind of off the table. So really the only game for me for this section.
Wait, what? It's out?
I thought it was out. Didn't it already come out?
Opening
Hold
up
on.
Steam. Gonna
I need
take
to
a
look.
look.
I thought I'd seen a video, I think yesterday, of people reacting to the series finale.
The Walking Dead. The final season.
Season 4 is what it is, right?
No, released. Wait, why can't I?
Says
can't buy it.
concludes next week, and that was on March the 20th. Yeah, it came out March the 26th, apparently.
4 on Steam on their release.
You can't buy it on Steam currently?
I guess not. There's no buy button.
There's no buy button.
There's a demo download button. You got to download our demo, and then you got to buy it through our demo.
Season 4 on their release date.
Includes access to all 4 episodes. Yep.
That's kind of
Episodes
weird.
1 through 4 are available now.
Huh.
Yeah, why can't I? Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I don't know why there's
there?
I see a download button, but that's just for the demo. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's a little irritating.
All right, so if any of you have purchased it, tell us what that means. Why is there a download instead of a purchase option for?
Yeah, how
How go about getting?
How do?
Yeah, that's kind of strange. Okay, yeah, so it is out, but
and those are cheap.
but I didn't play season 3, so it's not something I'm gonna be getting.
Season 3 is good. It gets a lot of flack, and I don't understand why. Honestly, the New Frontier is a good one. I really enjoyed it. I would say season 1 is still the best one, but then I think season 3, New Frontier, is actually better than season 2.
The thing for me is that I would have to go back and play season 1 because I want kind of the memory of it because it's been so long, and then replay season 2 because I don't really remember any of that at all. And then on top of that, and then I would have to move on to season 3, and that's a time sink that I just don't really want to do right now.
You know, okay, hear me out.
Uh-oh.
We play it together, okay? But here's how, right? So with the Telltale games, they offer this thing where one person actually plays it, and like you or me could stream it, and then everyone else can like use their phone and vote on what should be picked.
Do you think we could?
Can make a thing out of that. Let us know if anyone would be interested in that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wish our community was a little bit bigger than it currently is, because I feel like we could make an event out of that, and that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I'd
maybe we table it for now, and that's something that
people wanted to.
Yeah, maybe we table it for now and gauge interest, and we'll see. If you're into this, like you like this idea, let us know on Discord or on Twitter, and we will we'll definitely see if we can make that happen. Pat has plenty of free time for gaming, so I'm sure we can do it.
Hey, what's that mean?
Don't you, Pat? Don't you, Pat?
Man.
What is that? You need more time for gaming.
Yeah.
What you need is to get something like Shadow for your phone so you can play at work on your downtime.
RuneScape has a mobile thing.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, but like I can't play at work. I don't have enough downtime. Like I'll log in and be like, "Wow, look, I'm on RuneScape. Up, gotta go." Like,
Oh shit! Someone just came in. Oh, there's a raccoon in the ceiling. You know, that kind of thing.
still there, by the way.
Still there.
Okay,
I
so
actually forgot.
let's do a raccoon update. Wayne came, spread the urine, and they left. And we were like, great, they're gone. He's like, all right, so I'm gonna cover up the hole with this sticky stuff, and it's gonna let us know if she's trying to come back. Because if she's trying to come back, it could mean that there's still a baby hidden up here somewhere. And well, she came back, and so we're unsure of
if there's a baby or not.
Exactly. So now he's coming in tomorrow, and at this point, he's going to have to set a trap and leave it for a couple days. But he did spread more of the they call it eviction liquid.
Ugh, that is worse than just saying male urine.
So they did spread more of that, hoping that it would deter her, and we'll know Monday for sure. But
so if it doesn't, then he's going to have to trap her and then eventually put her down.
Yeah.
Oh.
But an extra downside to that is like, where are the babies?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Because
I don't like that.
If he caught the babies, he'd have to put the babies down. Yeah, but now
they're
it's just
probably
like
not going to survive on their own.
Exactly, and it's just going to be like not a nice way to go.
Would you rather put them down like humanely or have them starve to death out in the wild because they can't figure out how to
Exactly.
survive?
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Oh, I don't like that situation. That was sad. What a bummer.
Yeah, me either. Edit that out. I don't ever want to hear it again.
Yeah, bum me out there. Okay. Anyway, back to the loading screen thing. So the game I was going to talk about this week, which I don't have and I haven't played, I had mentioned interest in getting it, which was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which was the new FromSoft game. So kind of like a Bloodborne, Dark Souls type of game. And I've watched it because I like those kind of games. I like the challenging gameplay. I just didn't want to spend the money on it, and I didn't really know what style of game it was going to be. So I've just been watching people play it. And I actually like it because for people that are new to FromSoft games, it's a little bit easier for them. But then people that are coming from like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, it's particularly brutal for them. And I really like that. I think that was a brilliant idea from FromSoft. They basically designed it being like, "Oh, are you a Dark Souls veteran? We're gonna brutalize you." Like, "Oh, are you used to dodging through enemies and doing all kinds of really iframe dodgy kind of stuff? Yeah, we're gonna make enemies specifically that punish you when you do those kind of moves. Like, we're gonna make you learn the system in a really brutal way."
Wow.
So, yeah, I really like that. There's certain bosses and certain enemies that they design intentionally to teach you certain mechanics, and there's no other way to do it except for using the mechanics that they've put into the game. And if you decide to try and do it from a Dark Souls way, then you get punished for it. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching like seasoned Dark Souls people try and play the game and get just monster beatdowns.
I love watching people suffer, is what you're saying.
I mean, realistically, yeah. I mean, you have to kind of enjoy suffering if you're going to play those kind of games anyway. So, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
but it's been interesting.
I don't.
I mean, you enjoy suffering in a different way.
No, grinding. I just put up with it. All right. I hate grinds. Okay.
So I'm probably not going to get it at any point, at least no time soon, but I do enjoy that. And I like seeing the speed runs that have already come out. I mean, some people beating it in under, I think, like 50 minutes, something like that. So it's been pretty impressive.
Are they doing the like beating it with dance pads and potatoes and stuff yet?
Not that I've seen yet. No, that's just a matter of time, though, before somebody beats it in like 43 minutes with a Guitar Hero 3 guitar or something like that, Yeah. It's in the works. You know it is.
Wasn't there one where a guy did it with like slices of bread?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like a Raspberry Pi and some pieces of bread, maybe. I don't know. Pie. Not like a pie, not like a damn pastry pie. I'm talking about. But
that's just the first thing that popped into my head. Like he's got a
raspberry
pie.
To pie.
Mom, bring me the pie.
I'm gonna stick my fingers in it and play Dark Souls, you know. And that's the downside of those being called Raspberry Pi.
I want that to happen now so badly.
Oh Jesus. So if you haven't seen the game, it's pretty cool. Check it out. If you've played it, I'd like to hear what your experience is in our Discord. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really. I've seen the rages from some of the people for this game, and just the rage that people have kind of turns me off because I'm like, I really don't want to scream at my TV like that. You know, I kind of have to take a step back and realize that I don't want to throw things.
I mean, what's wrong with throwing things?
I just, you know, it's not for me. Throwing things is not for me. It's not my lifestyle anymore.
It can be. Just get that game.
All right, so that was my loading screen for this week. So kind of let's hop into the gaming news. We've got some small topics. Let's get those out of the way before we talk about League of Legends. So kind of rapid fire. First off, Blizzard, they announced a new revamp for a gear system for their new WoW expansion. Was it Heart of Azeroth or something?
Heart of Azeroth, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently when they came out with the gear system, some kind of grinding for some necklace or some shit, it was just abysmally bad. And they've been trying to fix it with tweaks for the past 8 months. And now the upcoming 8.2 patch is actually going to overhaul the entire system to make it much better. So it also has some new zones and dungeons and raids. So that's kind of cool. If you're an avid WoW player, I'm sure you're probably pretty happy about that. It means absolutely nothing to me. And Pat, you haven't played it, so it means nothing to you.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. But, you know, if Nep and Tom are still listening and still playing, maybe they can let us know how it is.
Yeah, give us some
And
details
Bob,
on it so we can bring it up. Yeah. So we'll see. Beyond that, there was a leak that Octopath Traveler, which is a game that's currently on the Switch, I've played it. It's a wonderful little JRPG. And it is coming to Steam on June the 7th, which I would honestly probably consider purchasing again for PC. It was that good of a little JRPG. I never finished it on Twitch, or on non-Twitch, but on the Switch, I should say. But it was a good little game. I liked it.
What's the premise of the game?
There are a bunch of different individual stories that you go around following. So it's a bunch of different characters. It's no real one major story, at least not that I recall.
There's not like an overarching.
I think there might be. I just don't remember what it was. It was months ago that I played it, and then I got sidetracked from Stardew Valley and other stuff moving forward. I do remember the mechanics of the game and the actual battle combat being kind of cool. So that was kind of the highlight for it. So something to look into. And then I saw that there is a rumor that Splinter Cell might be returning, which the last one that came out was Blacklist. And that was... How long ago was that?
Splinter Cell's
8 years ago?
Quite a while.
I want to say like 8 years ago. I'm not 100%. I'm going to Google it. Splinter Cell, Blacklist.
Are you a big Splinter Cell guy?
I've played pretty much all of them. It came out in 2013. We're at 2019, so okay, a little bit shorter than I thought. So about 6 years ago. I've played, I'm pretty sure I've played all of them. I did not like Blacklist. I don't know. Felt a little bit too fast-paced and aggressive for my style. I really preferred the stealth elements of the previous ones, but I don't know. So they're thinking about coming out with a new one. We will see what happens there.
See, I guess Splinter Cell. Wow, that was hard for me. Since you said Blacklist, my brain was like Black Ops, Call of Duty, and I just couldn't get around it. Anyways, Splinter Cell for me was a game that I always really liked the concept of.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was really cool, but anytime I would sit and play it, I just didn't have fun. But I enjoyed watching other people play it.
Is there one in specific that really bothered you?
No, it's just all of them. Whenever a new one came out, I would always rent it and try it. But
when Chaos Theory came out and it had kind of like the co-op option for it, there was a really good YouTube series that came out with people playing co-op, and it was like a comedy YouTube series of them like fucking stuff up, and it was hilarious. I can't remember what it was called. I'm going to dig for it, and I'm going to put it in the show notes on the website, maybe on the Discord too, but it was always funny. I really enjoyed that.
You said you
But
don't. Yeah, you don't remember what was that?
I can't. I just remember it being Chaos Theory co-op, and it was like Kin and something else. Now I'm gonna have to look. Chaos Theory funny co-op is what we're gonna put it as. It was.
Was it Donkey?
No, I cannot stand Donkey. It was not
Whoa!
Donkey. It will no, 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 no. I don't know why. I really don't get it personally. A lot of people love Donkey. In fact, when I started my YouTube channel, people would say shit about Donkey and how like, oh, I love Donkey, and I was like, I really do not care. I do not find him funny. Find him more annoying than anything else. And some of his videos just kind of, I don't know, they kind of instill a little bit of rage in me more than anything else.
Why?
Because he kind of misses the point on some of them. The one that really sticks out, in my opinion, is Shadow of the Colossus. He really bitches and moans about the controls in that game without realizing that it's actually intentional design. It's not bad design on their part. It's actually intentional that the controls are really sluggish and bad. I mean, it's designed for difficulty. That is the intentional difficulty of the game. They did it to be disempowering, to kind of take control away from the user, to make it a little bit more challenging. But kind of goes over his head, and so he bitches about it. I'm like, just makes me want to grind my teeth when I think about it. I've tried to watch his stuff, and I've been introduced to a lot of it before. Nathaniel and Philip would watch it occasionally when I would be around, and I would listen to it, and I would just be like, I can't. This is not for me. I don't see the appeal. I don't know what it is. What do you like about his videos?
I just think Donkey's funny. I like his just really sort of stupid humor. It just it does it for me. It's really all the more I can say. Like his old League videos, they got me.
I didn't even know he had old League videos.
That's how he got his start.
Oh, okay.
He got popular through making League videos.
I used to watch what is it, Magikarp use Fly. I used to think he was pretty funny, but now I don't really feel that way these days.
I still like him. I'll still watch him occasionally. I used to like him for his Champion Spotlight videos.
Yes, those were pretty good.
Then
Obviously, limited number
those.
of doing those. Well, I mean, at some point you're going to run out of videos to do, but yeah.
Well, he just stopped. Like, he still had a lot more champions to do. He was just I think he was just tired of it. He made a video about why he stopped. I think it was basically just like, I don't want to anymore.
Gotcha. So, but anyway, fair. Splinter Cell may be returning. Only other topic before we kind of get to the two bigger topics that we had on the gaming tech news section. Arcade cabinets. I thought about buying one yesterday.
Why?
I want one. That's why. What are you talking about?
And would you get a cabinet that's like a bunch of games built into one, or would you this is just Pac-Man?
No, I would definitely want an arcade cabinet that has a variety of different games on it. I would be kind of pissed to spend $2 to $3 grand for Pac-Man, that kind of thing. So I was watching. The way this happened is I was watching Jablinski Games, which, if you're not familiar, that is Jack Black's gaming YouTube channel.
I love Jack Black.
He was playing. What was that?
I said I love Jack Black. I didn't know he had a gaming channel.
You would get a kick out of his gaming channel then. So he was playing Rolling Thunder. It's like a Pac-Man machine with 30 arcade games on it and stuff. So he was playing that at his house. And I was kind of like, man, I want an arcade cabinet. It'd be really sweet to have one. Dug into it for a little bit. They're $2 to $4 grand for, ones with 10 to 15, maybe 30 games. I'm like, this is bullshit. But then I found there's a guy on Etsy that makes them custom and uses a Raspberry Pi to load in. I think it was 20,000 games or something. Pretty much anything in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So PlayStation games and stuff too. And he builds the whole cabinet and then ships it to you. And it was under $1,000.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, shipping was $400. So it ended up being, probably around $1,300 when it's all said and done. But that's still considerably less than I would pay for another arcade cabinet. And I would get a lot more games otherwise. So I was looking into it and really considering it.
Does he have a certain name for them? Does he call them his cabinets, a MAME? Is that the?
I don't know that he has a certain name for the cabinets. Let me look.
There's a series on YouTube. It's by the people that do the Critical Role um, show, and they have a series called Mame Drop, and it's like they have a custom arcade cabinet made that they can just load tons of games onto, and
Yeah,
the
so
episodes
his are
every
just
week are them.
called Slim Arcade Machine Cabinet with thousands of retro games, and it ends up having a like what is that? Like maybe a 32-inch TLC TV as the monitor. He's got some Bose speakers loaded into it, and two sets of controllers. I can't remember what materials he uses for the controllers. It is Swana style buttons, which are pretty good style buttons. Oh, and it has an amp in it too, so you can actually use it as a jukebox. So
Yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah. So I
that
was
is
looking at
pretty
it and I
cool.
was like, this, he's got 5-star reviews out of 83 that have been sold. And I was like, this is pretty sweet. And it's slim. So it's not like a really fat one that takes up a ton of space. So when I saw
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
I was like, honestly, and the price point makes it really appealing because I would really like to play like Street Fighter and, Capcom versus Marvel and like stuff like that with friends. That'd be really sweet.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, do you have a place like where you'd put it?
I do. I have space in the living room where I could put it, but then of course I will be moving in the next couple months to a 2-bedroom apartment instead of the 1-bedroom since Liz lives with me now, and so I would actually put it in my office, right where because I'd have space in the second bedroom, so I'd potentially put it in there.
Are you staying in the same building?
Not the same building. It will be in a new building, but same complex. So it would be better to
Okay, so
wait. So
it's
I obviously don't have to move it again.
wouldn't be terrible to move it though if you're in the same
Probably
complex.
not. Yeah, honestly, once you get it put together, I think honestly you could probably, and it's thin enough. I think you could realistically just put it
Just
on
put
a
it on like a
dolly and like
dolly.
wheel it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wheel it down the road to it. Because I mean, most of the stuff it's going to be within the same complex, so we could probably just wheel it on over there. Wouldn't even have to put it on the U-Haul or anything.
Yeah, that don't sound too bad.
I'll put a link in the show notes. It's pretty sweet. I don't know. I've been thinking about it the past couple of days. It says 12,000 plus games from 38 consoles, late 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
It's almost like too much. I'm overwhelmed.
Arcade games, PlayStation, MAME,
Yeah,
Atari,
meme. Ah, see?
Sega Genesis, and many more.
All right.
MAME is
See,
a
I thought
console, apparently.
meme was like some particular thing that they. Never mind. I'm stupid. Anyways, yeah, cool, dude. That'd be pretty cool if you got that.
MAME is a console or something. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm definitely thinking about it. I mean, it's a good chunk of money, and I've got other things I'm thinking about, doing with it right now. But I'm like, I don't know. That's pretty appealing. That'd be pretty sweet.
I agree. I vote. I vote you do it.
Yeah, I may wait until we move into our new place and then pull the trigger and kind of do that. So it'd be dope, especially for that.
Do you know how long it is till you move?
So the plan, I mean, we've had a couple apartments come up, but we've turned them down. So hopefully before October, but it takes 6 to 8 weeks before it actually ships out because he custom makes
Yeah,
them.
that's why I was asking.
Yeah, so I could probably order it before we move and then kind of go from there. Although the photo I have, it says MAME at the top as a like in that photo. It says the arcade in that one though.
Let me
Yeah,
see
I don't know if
here.
it's the same guy or not. It's pretty sweet though. Although I was also looking like, I wonder how hard these would be to build myself. But then knowing like tech skills, no problem. But then the actual woodworking side of
Like
things, like
yeah.
disaster, complete and utter disaster. Honestly, it would be a complete shit show. Do they show this video you just sent me? Do they show the actual?
They show the cabinet, yeah.
Oh no,
Like
this
right after
cabinet's
the
like a
intro.
normal. Yeah, that's a normal like larger 4-person cabinet. So it's not quite that one, but yeah, I'll show you. It's pretty cool. So I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe I'll do that in the coming months. Get myself a dope arcade cabinet.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man.
There's
I'd be a
also
little
another one you
jealous.
could get with a you can get an arcade table where it would stream to your TV. So you could play arcade games on your TV and then you'd have the joysticks and stuff built into like a coffee table. I
Hmm.
was like, that would be pretty sweet too, although the cat would just like lay on the buttons all the time. I don't know. It'd be
Yes,
terrible.
you're right. I don't want that one anymore.
Although you can get a arcade machine flat pack kit for under $100, and then you just have to buy the stuff and put it together. Huh. I don't know. No, I'm probably just better off paying someone that can actually do it and me not making a shit show out of it, honestly.
I mean, if it's a flat pack, it's just you're just IKEA in it, so it wouldn't be too bad. How much a price difference?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like getting all the components and not fucking it all up there, I mean, we're talking $895 for the TV, the speakers, and all the components, and the Raspberry Pi already loaded with games versus the arcade flat pack, which is just the outer shell for $100. Um, I was also looking at pinball machines, but they are surprisingly expensive. I don't know why I was
I
looking
would
at pinball
love to
machines,
have a
but
pinball machine, but yes,
I thought
they
it'd be
are
pretty dope.
expensive.
It was a couple grand for one, and I was like, geez.
I really enjoy pinball.
Yeah, I liked it as a kid. I kind of wanted to be on board with it.
If I ever hit it big, man, I'm gonna just open a little arcade in my house. Have some
That'd be
skee
sweet.
ball, have some pinball, arcade cabinets.
I like the sound of that. That'd be fun. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Let's talk about League of Legends. So yesterday was the LCS Spring Finals, which I did not watch.
Ooh, dude, you should. I know you don't play the game anymore, but I feel like, you can still appreciate the pro scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I should probably rephrase that a little bit. I did watch the first probably like 15 minutes of the first game. I had intentions of watching it, but then Liz got home and she probably didn't want to watch that, so we just kind of switched to something else. So that's really why I didn't watch it. I think I tuned in right at the very end. I looked online and I was like, wait a second, or no, I'd Googled what the score was, and it was like 2-2 and still live, and I was like, what, it's still going on? So I hopped on YouTube real quick, and it was right as I think Smithy was like holding up the trophy, and I was like, nice, TL1.
Dude, it was so good. Like, I've never been much of a spectator sport kind of guy. Like would have friends that would watch. I'd go to like Super Bowl parties and people would be like, wow, screaming at the TV. And I'm just like, wow, I don't understand how you're getting so into this. And then, when I started watching Pro League of Legends, I started to understand it a little more. And I was like, all right, like I can get it. But then yesterday, dude, during their reverse sweep, I was screaming. I'm sitting here in my chair yelling at my computer monitor, clapping, getting all mad when something goes wrong. I was way hyped, and like my adrenaline was pumping just from watching this fucking video game. But it was so good.
That last game, they were showing the coaches on both sides and like people spectating in the back room, and like how you could see TL like screaming and cheering on their side, and like TSM like getting up like, shit.
Yeah, it was awesome because like after the first two games, and whenever it's going into game 3, I think we locked in. I'm a TL fan, and I think we locked in Kennen top, I think it was, and I was just like, great, we're done. Like that series, it's over.
Because they had done that for the first game too.
Yeah, and it did not go well. In any way, shape, or form.
It started pretty well though. It just didn't end up very well.
Yeah. So, but then like they won that game, and I was like, oh shit, like, maybe there's a chance, maybe. And then game 2, we won that one. I'm like, oh my god, yes! And then game 3, we locked in Vlad top, and I was like, and there it goes, we're done, it's over, we lost. And it was looking real rough, dude. It was looking real rough for the first like 30 minutes of that game, and then TSM just had a couple slip ups here and there, and TL just fucking pounced on those mistakes and took full advantage of it, and got us back in the game. And then it was so good, and I'm so happy. I'm excited talking about it. I have the rebroadcast up on my other monitor right now, muted, because I just want to look over every now and then and just see some of these dope plays going.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's reverse sweeps are pretty uncommon. So to see if they did that, especially in League, you don't see them that often. So to see that, I was like, wow.
So last weekend, TSM reverse swept C9 to make it to the finals, and then got reverse swept.
So I was happy for Jensen too, because there was some really good plays from him doing shutdowns and being unstoppable. And I don't think he's ever won a trophy before.
He has always done well internationally, like at World Championships.
I know him and like Cloud9 have always done really well internationally. They've obviously never won, but I don't think like domestically he's ever actually won anything. Has
no, he hasn't. So that was his first win yesterday.
That's pretty
for a
cool.
domestic trophy. Yeah,
Now,
it's
let's talk a little bit about the flame war or some of the shit that was said on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen that?
I mean, I've definitely seen some. I
So
guess like
Andy
which are you
or
pertaining to, a direct
Reginald, I
one?
guess, for TSM was talking shit about how, they can't wait to beat down TL and stuff like that on Twitter, and how they've never been any good and they've always had to buy talent, which, by the way, like Smithy, Zen, you had double lift at one point. Like, come on, TSM, you dicks. Like, you've obviously bought some talent too, you asshats. Like, what the fuck? So kind of a shitty thing to say. And he was just talking trash about how he's going to, they're going to wipe the floor with TL, no problem. And so apparently it ended up being a bet between him and Steve of 100
Mm-hmm.
grand for whoever wins. And so Steve's Twitter after that match, his tweet was plus 100K.
So good.
It absolutely killed me.
I
And
really enjoy like shit talk between team owners because like it used to be shit talk between TSM, like so Reginald and Hotshot GG, who's the owner of CLG. It used to always be shit talk between them and them making bets with each other, but now CLG is total ass and just fell off the map. So,
yeah,
like no one cares about a rivalry there or any bets there anymore. Um, so I really like, and I also like that Steve and Reginald are friends. Like they're actually pretty good friends. They said in the interview that they made the bet. They're like, yeah, whenever we're not playing each other, we're good friends. We get along really well. But when it's game time, like no shit talk coming out. Like,
yeah,
I love
that's
it.
funny. I don't know much about Reggie. He seems okay. I do like Steve though. He seems like a genuine nice person.
Yeah.
I do like him. So I thought that was pretty funny. There were a lot of memes on Reggie's Twitter of people like posting an empty wallet, and then the guy from oh shit, what is that movie? I can't remember the name of the movie now, but there's a good meme on there, and it doesn't matter because I can't remember the damn movie. Shit,
It's
it'll come to me later, hopefully. But yeah, there was some funny stuff on that, so I really enjoyed it.
I really like the one where Reggie posted. It was the Team Liquid logo, except the like horse logo was a silhouette of a person choking, and it said the international choking sign. And
That's funny.
after the game, someone like retweeted it back to him saying, "Did they use your silhouette for this?" Like it was. So
oh my
good.
god, that's funny.
Yes.
That reminds me of I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast earlier this week, and he was talking about the same kind of thing with jujitsu and when people train together, like they're best friends, and he's like, you're best friends, but when you're actually sparring and stuff, like you're legitimately trying to choke someone out, like you're pushing, like you're literally choking them with your hands as hard as you can, turn them blue, and then the moment they tap, it's like you're best friends again. It's like, my bad, man, you good? Like we're good. Like I'm literally trying to kill you until you tap, and then it's like, we good. You want to go get dinner? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, it's important to separate the work and the relationship outside of work. It's really important.
Just a little bit. I think that's how you end up with some nice resentment there. So,
but I also think it's really cool that league, like esports and league in particular, have made it to a point where the team owners can just like on the drop of a dime be like, yeah, sure, let's bet $100,000 on this.
I mean,
Like,
they make. I think it's like TSM was valued at like 20 million a year or something. I think that was like 2 years ago.
oh, they make big money. Like TL
Yeah.
is in with Disney, dude.
Well, and Alienware making their whole facility, their training facility, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like,
And
there's a
Honda,
lot of money
Honda
going
too.
into the. There's a lot of money going into the esports arena and into these teams, and then, of course they don't just do League of Legends. Like they've got their own Counter-Strike teams and all and Overwatch and all this other kind of stuff. So there's there's multiple revenue streams for them at this point. They've definitely diversified outside of some of those core games. So
yeah, I just think it's really cool. 10 years ago, if one of the orgs was betting 100K on the match, it's going to bankrupt the org and you'll never hear from it again,
claim bankruptcy right after the match.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, here we go. Like, geez. All right. So
it's cool
our
to see how
last,
far it's come.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So our last main topic before we get to the "Are you fucking kidding me?" section, which I'm really looking forward to hearing about this. So the last topic we had was board games. Pat, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about board games. What exactly did you want to talk about?
I just like board games, man. You know,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I just like board games, and I feel like before we became friends outside of video games, little backstory for people who don't know. We'll sum this up in 2 minutes here. Chris and I played games together for a little while, like through a mutual friend, Fanny. One day we're all playing games together. He said something, and I was like, "What? Fight me, man!" And said my address, and I almost doxed myself here. Said my address, and he was like, "What? Like that's like right up the road from me." I was like, "No way! I don't believe you. You're lying." Turns out it was. We both moved to the same town within like a week of each other and had no idea. We'd been we've been living up here for like a month or two before we even figured it out.
Yeah, which was interesting because we've been playing games for like months together, and it's not like we were passerbys in the role that we played. Like you literally played bot in League, and I was your support. Like we had kind of like a closer gaming relationship in a way of like, yeah, there's some random guy I play with, but I have to support him or we're fucked. And yeah, so to all of a sudden find out like, wait a second, you live right down the road. That's not true. And then I remember inviting you over and you were like telling Britt, like, I'm going and I don't know if it's a real person or not. We'll see what happens.
I was like, here's where I'm going to be. If you don't hear from me, here's the guy you need to call the cops on.
Yeah, concerned that I was basically catfishing you into a friendship. So
yeah, but I still came. I still showed up.
You brought Purple Haze with you.
Yeah, and it was gross, and I pretended to like it because I was like, I want a friend up here. Pretend this is good.
Well, I mean, and you didn't like beer, so that was fine. I drank them, and then we watched League together. I don't remember what tournament or anything, but we watched that. And then before you knew it, before too long, I was going to vape stores with you, and then we were having board game nights. So
yep, hanging out pretty much every weekend. Yeah, so we started having board game nights, and I don't remember how our board gaming like evolved, but like to me, it was always like, yeah, board games is like Life, Monopoly, Sorry, those type of things. But there's such like so many interesting games out there, and it's like there's different like genres of board games, which I never thought would be a thing. And so the reason I want to talk about it is because in my head, it's like, I never knew about these possibilities in board games. A bunch of other people probably also don't know. They're probably in the same boat that I am.
A lot bigger than I initially realized. If I remember correctly, I think it was like I ran across an article about Pandemic or something like that, and I was like, this sounds crazy. I've never heard of a game like this before. And then I remember buying it and inviting you and Britt over, and we just played it. And then next thing you know, like we're like, this is fucking crazy. I've never played a board game like this. And that's literally what we played for months. It's all we played for months. And then we found a local comic book store, which had board games in it. And then a lot of our money went to that.
We just went down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going one time when they had like some kind of sale, and I was like, oh, I'll probably get a board game and walk out with like 5 board games. I'm like, shit, I just spent like $200 on board games. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, and like, I really enjoy the cooperative board games, which again, I never really thought would be a thing because it's a board game. How do you play a cooperative board game and have a win-lose condition?
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I'm like, what am I playing against? Like, there's no computer AI that we're all going against or anything here. So that was really cool to get into. So like Betrayal at House on the Hill, like that's cooperative to a point until one of you or all of you or none of you or something happens. It's called the Haunt. And there's like 100 different scenarios that you can fall into. And one of you can become the betrayer, the traitor of the group. And you got to like go into another room with your secret little book and read your win conditions while everyone else is reading their win conditions. And you go from friend to foe. It's really cool. I enjoy it. I think a lot of people should look into these things.
Yeah, my initial worry with the co-op was that it would be too easy to basically beat them because it's a co-op and you're playing against basically the rules of the game instead of each other. So you don't have to outsmart someone else necessarily, as you do need to just take advantage of the rules, but they actually do a pretty good job, at least the ones that we've played, as far as scaling the difficulty and keeping it interesting. Although as we ventured into other games, Pandemic took a backseat in a big way. We got
to the point where
stopped playing it.
Pandemic became easy, you
Yeah.
know?
It was definitely the introduction. We even got the expansions, but we just weren't interested. And I think a big part of that was House on the Hill, Betrayal. We literally played that all the time because there were so many scenarios. And granted, while some of the scenarios
Mhm.
are not necessarily detailed like they probably need to be, we did find some loopholes and some issues in some of the language at times. Overall,
Yep.
it made an interesting dynamic because even when you start playing, you're still thinking about, well, what if Patrick ends up being the haunt? We're fucked. Like, we can't let him do that. Well, what if this person's the haunt? We're fucked. And we would always think about that kind of stuff. But then there's some cases
Mhm.
where no one's the haunt and you're all just kind of playing to survive individually, or you just
Or it's
never
a
really know.
secret betrayer.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know who it is. So you're like, do I help him? But what if it is him? I don't know what to do. And like with Betrayal, I like the fact that your game board is like ever changing.
Yeah.
From the very
Yeah.
first move, like it's different from the last game that you played. Now it's always the same tiles, but the layout of it always different.
Yeah, so that was always fun. The other thing that made it interesting, especially with the scenarios, is I remember there being a time where we were all playing, and I think like you or Britt ended up having like just an absurd amount of items, and it was like, why the fuck are you getting so much stuff? Like, if you become the haunt, there's no way we survive this. But then I think the haunt we ended up getting was like the items worked against you, and the more you had, the more negative impact it had on you. And we were like, oh, well, you're fucked. And it was like, did not think of that could be a possibility. And so it was kind of amazing.
Yeah,
What
it's a
else did
really
we
good
play?
one.
That
Mysterium.
Mysterium ended up being a really good cooperative board game where one person is a like a ghost that isn't supposed to talk. So that was always interesting. It's been a favorite, honestly. Pretty much anytime I've
Well,
introduced it
you
to
bought
someone.
it,
Yeah.
and we liked it so much that after you moved away, we went and bought our own.
Yeah, and when I moved down here and introduced it to everyone, like it ended up being stuff that everyone wanted to play. Like, oh, let's play Mysterium because it's a very easy game to play with its own type of challenge, but it's different every time you play it, and it's unique, especially given the
Easy to
individual as the
learn.
ghost. Yeah, which not
Yeah.
all these co-op games are easy to learn. Betrayal is not particularly simple. It can be a little overwhelming,
Yeah, that's true. They
especially
can,
with some
but
of the
Mysterium's
wordings.
awesome.
Yeah, and then we played Resistance quite a bit, which is not nearly as fun without you, Pat, because I played it with Hannah and Matt, which I mean, you know Hannah and Matt, and I played it with them, and I kind of talked it up as like we're gonna end up hating each other by the end of the night because it's just the style of game, but we didn't really. They didn't really get into it as passionately as like you, me, and Nathaniel do, and so it kind of bummed me out a little bit because I need that like that rage, you know, where you feel like you're at the cusp of ending a friendship over this game, you know, where I'm kind of like, Pat, give me another beer, and then I'd like grab it for me, give me a fucking beer, like, hey, damn trigger.
I stand up. Hey Pat, would you get me another beer, please? I'd really appreciate that. Oh, I was the traitor the whole time. Give me the fucking. Don't. You know what? Get out of my house. Like,
Get out of my house! Don't touch my cat! Don't fucking touch my cat! Yeah, there was a
I
lot
trust
of
no one in that game, dude.
understandable because it's hard to say what's going on. That was a fun one. That one's not co-op. Well, I guess in a way it kind of is.
It's all about deception because, like, let's say you're playing with 5 people. Just to give a quick rundown for people, playing with 5 people, 2 of you are spies, and the other 3 are like the resistance. And so you go on missions, and you have to choose so many people to go on the mission, however many it says that need to be chosen. And if it's your turn to pick who goes on the mission, you need to make sure to pick all what's it called? All resistance people, no spies. Because if the spies go on it, they can choose to fail it. And if you fail 3 missions before you clear 3 or 4 missions, then the resistance loses. And so it's all about trying to figure out who's the spy and who's not. Do you trust people? Because if you look a spy in the eyes and you say, you a spy? They're not going to be like, yeah, you got me. Like, they're going to say no. And you got to determine, do I believe this?
And they might say they are. It's you don't know.
The worst
You don't know.
was me and Fanny. We were sitting right next to each other, and every round we play, we were just yelling at each other. And then after the round was over, when
It
we
was
both
amazing.
show each other our cards, and neither of us were spies, and we're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Like, I should have believed you." And then the next round
Mother.
starts. I'm like, "It's you."
You son of a bitch. Now I'm going to say I have an unpopular opinion. There's another one called, it's like Camelot or something. It's based on the same game, but it has Merlin and an assassin. I hate that one. I really hate that one. Nathaniel had talked about that one a lot while we were playing Resistance, if you recall, and how much he liked that. I hate that one because everyone spends all their time trying to find out who Merlin and the assassin are instead of focusing on just trying to be deceptive. And so even if one team wins and they do a really good job, it's like if the assassin kills Merlin, it's like it doesn't fucking matter. So it's like it kind of ruins the whole point of the game to me. So I'm like, yeah, don't play that one. Get the Resistance.
Yeah, that one's
Then
a
we
lot.
used to
You need at least
play
5 people.
Yeah, minimum of 5. We used to play Munchkins, which that was pretty fun. Kind of weirdly cooperative in a way at times.
Cooperatively competitive.
Yeah, yeah. And also you end up kind of hating people a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think the only other one that I really, really liked that's a co-op game was Dead of Winter, but I don't think we ever got to play it together. I think I played it after we moved.
We played it, I think, one time whenever you first got it. But, it was hard to enjoy because we were still kind of learning how to play it. And then I think we tried it once and we're like, that's a lot. Like, we don't have much time left. Let's just play something else. And never went back to it.
It was a deep set of rules. And that honestly ended up becoming the biggest issue with our board game is that, usually we didn't get together until like 6 o'clock. And before you know it, it's fucking 10 o'clock at night. So it ended up being like, when it comes to board game days, you need a day. Like you get together at noon, play board games until you're either too drunk to focus on the board game or it's time to leave. Do one or the other. Which the last time I played board games, which was probably about a year ago. No, I played with Matt and Hannah, but with like a big group of people, it was probably about a year ago at this point. We tried to play Mysterium. We got through one round, and by the time we got done with that round, like half the table was way too drunk to focus on the next round. So we just had to like abandon ship.
Well, you and Liz need to come up, all right? And then we'll have 4 people to play, and we can get a couple other people if we want, and we want to get like a big group of it.
Depending on what we're going to try and play. Yeah, I was going to say we could play Resistance and stuff. At the very least, we could play Betrayal.
Yep. I mean, we have Betrayal, Munchkins, and Mysterium.
And then I could bring Dead of Winter, and we could try that again. Especially if I was there for a couple of days, and we could have hopefully a couple of days of board games instead of just like, oh, we played Dead of Winter, and it's confusing because the rules suck, and then we don't know what to do with it.
We wasted all our time trying to figure out what was going on. And good visit, Chris. See ya.
Yeah, absolutely. Great time. I like Dead of Winter because it is. There's one component that is just absurdly stressful for everybody in the room. And
your like secret mission thing, that?
No, not so much the secret mission thing. The dice roll. So every time you move. Or every time you like move locations or anything, or do certain actions, you have to roll for exposure. And there's a piece on the dice where you could get bit and die immediately. So every time you roll it, it's stressful. You're like, oh no, I hope I don't die here. Ah, fuck. So it's really good.
Moral of the story here, people, is go to like your local comic shop, look at their not as well-known board games because they're a ton of fun. Ask us questions.
I was going to say, get some recommendations from people at the comic shop. Ask if they have board game. What was the thing that they did
board game demos?
Board game demos where you could go in and you can play like 3 or 4 different board games at a time and kind of get a feel for them. Our shop actually had a drawing as well, which I ended up winning Covert or something, which we've never even opened.
Really? No, I feel like we did try to play it.
I didn't fucking try and play it. I don't know anything.
Oh, you guys had that other one called what was it? Above and Below?
Yes.
That one was fucking complicated.
Yeah, I don't have that game anymore. I left that up there.
Yeah, fuck that one.
I think I left Munchkins. I took Exploding Kittens, Resistance, Eldritch Horror, which we never played because the difficulty is sky high on that fucking game.
That was the card game, right?
No, there's a different one that is that like deck building game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Even though we fucked up the rules and and that's why it was so hard for us.
Royally fucked up the rules.
Yeah,
yes.
big time.
Yes. because we can't read. So that's that. All right, Pat. So let's go to Are You Fucking Kidding Me? So let's talk about it. Tell me what's on your mind here with RuneScape today.
Christopher. All right, Christopher. So RuneScape is a very grindy game. I've said this before. Anytime it comes up, I'm going to tell you it's a very grindy game. You can spend hours on end grinding for one level in something, and what do you unlock? Nothing. You do nothing better. All right? 10 hours of your life gone to get from 80 to 81 range. Do you hit any harder? No. Do you hit any more often? Fuck no. 10 hours gone. So today, I've been working toward 2 goals. All right? Start bossing and get a fire cape. All right, so getting a fire cape it's like an arena fight kind of deal. It's called the fight caves. You go down in and you have to fight 63 waves of enemies. And on the very last wave, you fight a big boss, and he can one-shot you. Okay? Partway through fighting him, he summons little healers, and they start healing him up. And so that's not fun. All right? So I went through all 63 waves of this bullshit, okay? Hiding behind rocks, safe spotting these things so I can hit them. They can't hit me. Getting all my prayer switches right so that way I'm not taking any damage from things. There was one point where I safe spotted stuff so nothing could hit me because I ran out of food to heal myself up. And I safe spotted and stood there for 15 minutes just letting my health slowly tick back up so I could go back out and fight. And I just had to sit here and occasionally move my mouse so I didn't log out and have to start all the way back over. So I dumped like an hour and a half of my life into getting to this. I get to them. I'm all out of food. So I have to get everything 100% right. If I mess up one thing, I'm done. I'm done. And my life is going to be done. And I'm fighting him. I get him to half. I'm like, oh my God, like it's going so well. I'm not fucking up my prayer switches. Everything's going well. He hasn't hit me through prayer. Like nothing is going wrong. I'm going to get it. And like, I'm getting hyped. I'm like, yes. You know, like I feel my heart beating. I'm like, oh my God, finally. Like I always wanted this whenever I played the game when I was a child. And it's finally coming to fruition. I'm almost there. And he spawns the little fucking healers. And I'm like, all right, this is fine. He's got the healers. I'll just click a healer to start attacking it and then go back to my prayer switches. I just got to do it in between the prayer switches, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go to click the healer. I click it. I start shooting. And my character runs, and when he runs, it like fucks up my view of Jad, who's the name of the big boss. Fucks up my view of Jad, and I panic. And I'm like, oh no! And I just switch my prayer. I don't know why. I just switch it, and it was wrong. And I got one shot for 77 damage. My life is 77. He 100 to 0'd me, and so 1 hour and 30 minutes of bullshit, standing in one spot, waiting for my life to regen, all the money I spent on the supplies, everything, gone, done. Have to do it again. And I'm gonna, because I hate myself, I guess, and I hate this game, but I gotta do it, because I love the game, but I hate the game at the same time.
You have a love-hate relationship with it. So what do you get after you beat this guy?
It's called the Fire Cape, okay?
Okay.
And it's like an animated cape, and it's like a second best in slot. It was the best in slot for years until they came out with a basically newer version of it called the Infernal Cape, which you then have to do like an even harder version of the fight caves to get that, which like that version is so hard that whenever it was first released, Jagex, the company that does RuneScape, was actually like watching accounts, and if you got it, they would check your account to like check where it's been logged in and everything to see if you paid somebody to get it for you, and they'd ban you. Like you wouldn't have it for even an hour. They would just be like, yep, boom, he paid for it, banned, done.
Oh wow! So they were looking for people that were cheating basically to get it.
Yeah, because it's like a very prestigious thing in the game. That boss is extremely hard and extremely time consuming. Even more time consuming than the one I was doing. And so it takes forever, very hard. And people were paying, like, whenever it first came out, they're paying like hundreds of dollars to have someone hop on their account and do it for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're just like, yeah, here's like $400. Go get me that Infernal Cape. And then you log in. You're like, oh, yeah, cool. I got it. And then boop, banned. Yeah, right? Like, that would suck. That would really suck. Yeah. So, hour and a half of my life gone for nothing. All that training I did.
And
Means
how much
nothing
money
until I
did you
finally
end up
get it.
having to waste to get all the supplies that you need?
Not
I
like
mean,
an astronomical amount, but enough to where it hurts. It hurts.
So my question is, do you have enough money that you're able to afford to go and just redo it immediately, or is it something you're going to have to grind to get
I
the?
have already resupplied. It is ready
Okay,
to
so
go. I'm ready
you're
to hop
ready to
back in
go.
there. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I went to the Grand Exchange, rebought everything, tweaked the setup a little bit because since it was my first time, I maybe should have brought a little more of one thing and a little less of another, things like that. So maybe now with a little more experience, I won't panic at that spot, and I'll have the correct combination of things and yada yada and whatnot. So hopefully that works. But fuck that game. And when I died, I had the moment where I went, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
That's what we need. Yes, I
was
like
very
that.
upset. Very upset.
So this may next week we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna be like, "Do you have a Are you fucking kidding me moment?" You're gonna be like, "Yeah, that same fucking moment from last week. I did it again."
Dude, I got a moment from yesterday too in that stupid game. Okay.
Oh my god. Let's hear it. What do you got?
Okay. Well, so there's a boss. All right. So I said one of the goals was bossing. All right. So fighting big hard monsters to get really expensive drops to sell them to get better gear, and RuneScape is just one big flex on other people. That's all the game is. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna learn to start bossing. I got Alex in. I was like, yo, Alex, like, let's go attempt. Let's fucking try out Zulrah. They call it, like, the nickname for Zulrah is Money Snake because it's got good drops. It only takes a couple minutes to do. And I was like, yeah, like, I watched a bunch of videos on how to do it properly. I got good enough gear. Like, I got better gear than the dude in the video that I watched. I can totally do this. Like, Alex, we got this, right? Fucking load in. Boop, boss pops up out of the water. He's like some giant sea serpent type deal, right? And you like are on this horseshoe shaped island type deal, and you got to run around on it as he spits shit at you and whatnot. Load in, he pops up, boop, he starts spreading his shit across the ground. I'm laying into him. I'm like, yeah, this won't be bad. I got this. Turns, smacks me for like a 43. I'm like, oh no, and hop into the panic. Boop, just dead. I literally died in like 20 seconds of starting that fucking fight, and I was so mad that I spent like an hour watching all these different videos, trying to figure out how to do this. And I gave it like 5 or 6 attempts. And I think the furthest I ever got him was maybe a third of his health. It's very fast paced. And it's like, how am I supposed to fucking learn this shit, Jagex? Make him attack slow, make me invincible. Just give me everything. I'm sick of it. I'm going to try it again later.
I'm actually looking up a video because I want to see this money snake for myself now. That you have to run. That's the island space that you get.
Yeah, and he like puts poison clouds on there, and you gotta prayer. You have to prayer switch, so you can pray like to protect from magic, protect from range, and protect from melee. And so you have to prayer switch depending on what type of attack he's using, and then you also have to gear switch. And so he pops up and he's green. You got to pray range, and you got to hurry up and you got to switch to your mage gear, and you got to start attacking him before he goes back down, and you got to switch again. Which was annoying because I fucked up one of my switches the one time, and it was like, all right, I finally got all my stuff switched. I'm going to hit him. And then he went back down, and I had to switch right back to what I was.
And it looks like there's like specific areas on the island where you need to be standing.
Yep, and if you're not standing in that exact spot, you're dead.
Oh, and he turns like blue or turquoise or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, the different color he is denotes like the damage he's going to do and the damage that he's weak to.
Huh. Ooh.
It's annoying. I hate it.
All you fucking kidding me are gonna be about this fucking game. I can't wait. We're gonna end up renaming this segment just like Pat Plays RuneScape.
This week on Pat Plays RuneScape. Yep.
God damn it! Are you fucking kidding me? That's hilarious. All right, Pat, well, take us out of this episode. Let's wrap it up.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. To another week of Pixel Perfect Gaming. I don't know, man. My brain's not working right now. I'm a little fired up.
Got you all agitated.
My brain, like, I'm just mad in my head. I'm just like replaying that moment where I died in the fight pit today, right before we started this in my head right now, and I can't get on track. So thanks for tuning in, Pixel Perfect Gaming, everybody. Another week down. We really appreciate everyone tuning in. That's great. If you can let us know what you think of how we're going to start doing these structured segments, we'd really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you want to send me motivational words of wisdom, that'd be great too, because I'm on edge from this game. So that's it. See you guys next week, and remember to love yourselves. Goodbye.